One of the key differences between humans and animals like monkeys lies in metacognition. Monkeys, for example, do not have the awareness to think, "I am here, eating food right now." They simply act on instinct, moving unconsciously without self-awareness. But why? Because animals lack the ability of self-reflection, they do not possess metacognition. Without this, they live their entire lives without even realizing their own existence, just moving left and right, reacting purely based on instinct. In that sense, an animal's life is similar to the dream world we experience during sleep. The world of dreams is 100% controlled by the unconscious mind, the subconscious. Even if something feels strange in a dream, we don't usually stop and think, "Wait a second, isn't this a dream?" We simply go along with whatever unfolds, completely unconscious of the fact that we're dreaming. And within that dream world, we experience emotions, pain, struggle, joy, but we have no conscious control over our thoughts, actions, or the story that plays out. We don't even have the awareness to recognize, "I am in a dream, eating food right now." We just keep moving, driven purely by instinct. This is why life itself, this so-called reality, is often described as a long dream that lasts 100 years. If we fail to use metacognition in the real world, we end up in the same state as we are in dreams. We never stop and think, "Wait a second, this is reality, isn't it?" Instead, we move through life unconsciously while events unfold around us. We feel pain, struggle, and joy, but we have no real control over our thoughts, actions, or the unfolding story of our own lives. This is the life of someone who is asleep in consciousness. And the reason? Because they are not using metacognition. However, if you ever pause and ask yourself, "Wait, what exactly is reality? Am I truly in the real world right now?" Then, even if just faintly, your consciousness is beginning to wake up. Your metacognition is starting to activate. And in spiritual terms, this is the beginning of awakening. I may have overdone my metacognition training. The problem is, during conversations, my conscious awareness, the explicit awareness, becomes highly activated. As a result, I end up observing myself and others from a detached, bird's-eye perspective, which creates a strange sense of disconnection. Most people, of course, are fully immersed in the conversation without even realizing it. They're talking on autopilot, unaware that I'm the only one experiencing this heightened state of awareness. But occasionally, someone subconsciously senses something is off. And then I think, "Oh no, I'm about to be exposed." So I find myself constantly trying to hide the fact that I'm in a metacognitive state during conversations. I had never heard anyone else talk about this strange experience of having overdeveloped metacognition skills. So I assumed no one would ever relate to it. For a long time, I kept it to myself. But then, when I asked AI about it, I got a response saying, about 1 in 200 to 1,000 people experience something similar. That made me think, oh, so there are others out there after all. So today, I've decided to share my thoughts on metacognition. Hello, everyone. This is Japanese Urban Sage. What is metacognition? What are the characteristics of people with high versus low metacognitive abilities? How can you train your metacognition? Psychology has already confirmed something important. Metacognitive ability is a critical life skill that can shape your destiny. And the good news? You can develop and strengthen it even as an adult. After 15 years of deep training, I've developed an extreme level of metacognition, something akin to a Taoist practitioner's insight. So today, I'd like to share that knowledge with you. And by the end, I'll also explain how spiritual enlightenment oneness experiences relate to metacognition. This is a fascinating and valuable topic you won't hear about anywhere else. So, let's begin. What is metacognition? With concrete examples. Metacognition is a psychological term that refers to the ability to objectively observe and regulate your own actions, thoughts, and emotions. In other words, it's the ability to observe your own behavior, thoughts, and feelings from an objective perspective. Control them based on that awareness. Metacognition focuses on three key areas: your behavior, your thoughts, your emotions. 1. Observing your behavior. Metacognition includes the ability to analyze and improve your own actions and habits. For example, I noticed that my hands were fidgeting too much during my presentation. I was walking while looking at my phone too often today. I should be more mindful of that. 2. Observing your thoughts. Metacognition also means being able to observe and question your own thought process. For example, this belief I have. Could it just be a cognitive bias? Am I missing an important perspective in solving this problem? There are two types of thoughts. Conscious thoughts, deliberate thinking. Automatic thoughts, subconscious reactions. Metacognition helps you observe and control both of these types of thinking. This is a crucial life skill that directly shapes your future. I'll explain this in greater detail later. 3. Observing your emotions. Metacognition also allows you to identify and regulate your emotional state. For example, I feel really anxious right now. Let me take a deep breath and calm down. I'm irritated because of something person A said. I should switch to a more level-headed response. In short, metacognition is the ability to step back and observe your own behavior, thoughts, and emotions. Other aspects of metacognition. In a broader sense, metacognition also includes 1. Observing the environment, situational metacognition. This refers to the ability to analyze the overall situation around you. For example, in a meeting, the atmosphere feels tense. Maybe now isn't the best time to speak. In sports or teamwork, am I positioned correctly within the group's overall movement? In social settings, who holds the most influence in this group? How should I respond? 2. Observing others. Technically, watching others isn't exactly the same as metacognition, but it's a closely related skill. For example, what is this person thinking right now? How does this person feel in this moment? With that foundation in place, let's explore metacognition in more depth. Characteristics of people with high metacognitive ability. People with high metacognition can objectively observe themselves, leading to the following traits. 1. Deep self-understanding. They are highly aware of their own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. For example, I'm feeling anxious right now. If I make a decision in this state, I'm more likely to fail. 2. Ability to adapt and adjust. They can recognize their mistakes and weaknesses and take corrective action. For example, this method isn't efficient. I should try a different approach. 3. Calm and collected demeanor. They don't get easily swept away by emotions and can stay objective. For example, I'm feeling irritated, but this is precisely when I need to stay calm and continue the conversation rationally. 4. Strong observational skills for people and environments. They can read the room and understand others' emotions, adjusting their behavior accordingly. For example, this person seems exhausted. I should avoid putting extra pressure on them today. 5. Strong growth mindset. They continuously analyze themselves and seek improvement. For example, I'm still lacking this skill. I should focus on training it. In short, people with high metacognitive ability excel in self-management, interpersonal skills, problem-solving, and relationship building. Characteristics of people with low metacognitive ability. People with low metacognition struggle to see themselves objectively, leading to the following traits. 1. Shallow self-understanding. They fail to notice their own emotions and thoughts, often acting on impulse. For example, I don't even know why I'm feeling irritated. Or even worse, they might not realize they're irritated at all, leading to impulsive reactions. 2. Blaming others or the environment. They don't reflect on their actions and rarely seek to improve. For example, I failed because of my surroundings, not because of anything I did wrong. 3. Emotionally reactive. They get swept up in emotions like anger or anxiety and struggle to make rational decisions. For example, I got irritated and acted impulsively without thinking. 4. Lack of awareness of others. They struggle to read people's emotions or situations, leading to inappropriate behavior. For example, I kept talking even though the other person was clearly uncomfortable. 5. Stagnation in growth and learning. They fail to recognize their own weaknesses and repeat the same mistakes. For example, I don't know why things aren't working for me. Or worse, they don't even realize they're failing, they just keep doing the same thing out of habit. These tendencies make self-management and relationships difficult, causing them to miss growth opportunities. The biggest impact of metacognition on life. The most significant life-changing difference between those with high versus low metacognition lies in self-improvement. People with high metacognition can recognize mistakes, adjust their approach, and grow efficiently. People with low metacognition fail to recognize their problems, leading to repeated failures and inefficiency. For example, a high metacognition person might say, "My time management was weak in this project. Next time, I'll create a more detailed schedule." Meanwhile, a low metacognition person might say, "I don't understand why things aren't working." Or worse, they don't even realize something is wrong. They just feel frustrated without understanding why. Over time, this gap in self-improvement compounds, creating a huge difference in skills, knowledge, and life success. How I overcame a life of struggle through metacognition. To be honest, I wasn't always this way. I wasn't naturally talented in love, work, money, human relationships. No matter what I tried, I kept failing. As a working adult, life became so unbearable that, though it may sound extreme, I even thought, maybe I shouldn't have been born. But everything started to change when I discovered a method to reprogram my subconscious mind. It's called Transcendental Taoist Rebirth. This method includes powerful metacognition training exercises that dramatically improve self-awareness. Specifically, these exercises help you identify and break free from your automatic thought patterns. What does it mean to notice automatic thoughts? Did you know that our consciousness operates in two distinct modes? Conscious awareness, explicit consciousness. This is the part of our mind that we actively control. Unconscious mind, subconscious mind. The vast majority of our thoughts and behaviors happen here, without us even realizing it. In fact, 95% of our consciousness is subconscious, meaning that 95% of our thoughts and actions occur automatically, without conscious awareness. These automatic thoughts are called automatic thinking. These automatic behaviors are called automatic actions. This means that, if we break it down by time, we spend about 23 hours a day operating on autopilot, acting and thinking without even realizing it. For comparison, animals like monkeys function entirely on autopilot for 24 hours a day. Humans are unique in that we can access conscious awareness for a small portion of our time. Perhaps this is why it's so difficult to stop thinking and become truly empty-minded. Even when we try to clear our minds, automatic thoughts arise. I'm hungry. Oh, I forgot to do that thing. Why does this happen? Because 95% of our thinking happens automatically, outside of our control. How automatic thoughts shape our lives. Every day, without realizing it, we make countless decisions based on automatic thinking. For example, you suddenly think, it's probably better to go right. Without questioning it, you turn right. This means that 95% of our life is controlled by automatic thoughts, which shape our behaviors, which ultimately shape our entire life. Even though we have 5% conscious control, the vast majority of our actions and choices are dictated by subconscious automatic thinking. And this is why. If our automatic thoughts don't change, our life doesn't change. How negative automatic thoughts trap us in the same life. If our daily automatic thoughts remain unchanged, our actions will also remain unchanged. For example, if your subconscious thoughts include, I hate that person. I wish they would disappear. There's no point in trying. Nothing good will happen anyway. Something terrible is going to happen again. Then, your actions and life outcomes will continue to follow the same negative pattern. You might think, well, if automatic thoughts are the problem, then I should just change them. That makes sense, but here's the problem. Because these thoughts are subconscious, we aren't even aware of them. You don't realize what you're thinking automatically, how your subconscious thoughts are shaping your life. This makes changing automatic thoughts extremely difficult. What happens if you start noticing automatic thoughts? But imagine if you could notice them. For example, let's say you unconsciously think, there's no point in trying. Nothing good will happen anyway. But then suddenly, you become aware of it. Wait a second. I just thought there's no point in trying. Now that you've caught this automatic thought, you can consciously challenge it. Is that really true? Maybe in this situation, it's worth trying after all. This single moment of awareness creates a huge difference in how you respond. Scenario 1, unconscious automatic thought controls you. You think, there's no point in trying. You don't question it. You don't take action. Scenario 2, you notice and correct the automatic thought. You catch yourself thinking, there's no point in trying. You question it and shift your thinking. You decide to take action. The compounding effect of noticing automatic thoughts. Now, imagine that you catch and correct just 3 automatic thoughts per day. In 1 month, that's 90 times you act differently. In 1 year, that's 10,800 times you change your behavior. In 10 years, that's over 100,000 times you've taken different actions. If you take 100,000 different actions, your life will change drastically. How metacognition transformed my life. After practicing Taoist rebirth, my metacognitive ability skyrocketed. As a result, I became hyper-aware of my own automatic thoughts. For example, now I catch myself thinking, wait, I just thought nothing good ever happens. Hold on, I just thought another terrible thing might happen. Because I catch these thoughts, I can correct them immediately. And over 15 years of metacognition training, this has led to radical personal transformation. How my mindset and life have changed. Before metacognition training, I had no awareness of my automatic thoughts. Repeated negative thought loops unconsciously. Let fear and doubt dictate my actions. Now, after years of training, I instantly recognize negative automatic thoughts. Observe and correct unhelpful thought patterns. Control my emotions and behaviors more effectively. For example, in the past, I struggled with consistency and discipline. Ruined relationships by acting impulsively. Got stuck in fear and anxiety. But now, I take consistent action like a disciplined monk. Control my emotions instead of reacting impulsively. Analyze failures objectively and learn from them. And as a result, I have completely transformed into a different person, living a completely different life. The key insight: metacognition creates late bloomers. Looking back, I can say, I was never naturally talented. I was not a high achiever from the start. I struggled for years before things changed. But my late growth came from one key factor. My metacognitive ability drastically improved. Because I became aware of my automatic thoughts, I was able to correct my thought patterns, improve my behavior, accelerate self-improvement. This was the turning point that allowed my life to change rapidly. Now, let's dive deeper into practical methods for improving metacognition. How to train metacognition. As mentioned earlier, psychology has confirmed that metacognitive ability can be developed even in adulthood. To strengthen metacognition, try the following exercises. 1. Observe yourself. Developing metacognition starts with the habit of reflecting on your actions, thoughts, and emotions. Here's how. Example 1. During that meeting, I felt anxious. Why? Oh, I see. It was because I wasn't fully prepared. Next time, I'll do more preparation. Example 2. My boss told me to redo my work today, and I got really irritated. Why did I react that way? Maybe because I felt like my efforts weren't being appreciated? So that means I have a strong desire to have my hard work recognized. By regularly reflecting on your actions, thoughts, and emotions, you will develop greater self-awareness and metacognitive skills. Journaling, a simple yet powerful tool. If you're wondering, what exactly should I do, try writing a daily journal. Each night, write down your actions. What did I do today? Thoughts. What did I think about today? Emotions. What emotions did I feel today? Once you get used to journaling, take it a step further. Why did I take that action? Why did I think that way? Why did I feel that emotion? At first, you might struggle to find clear answers. But over time, as your metacognitive ability improves, you'll gain deeper insights into your own thought patterns and behavior. This process also strengthens your inner sense of self, helping you develop a strong, independent mindset. You can use either a digital journal blog or a physical notebook, whatever works best for you. 2. Practice seeing things from another person's perspective. One of the best ways to develop metacognition is to train yourself to shift perspectives. Since we are always inside our own bodies and minds, we naturally experience the world through a self-centered perspective. We cannot step outside our own body and observe ourselves from above. Enter someone else's body to directly experience their thoughts and emotions. This is why our default thinking is self-centered, focusing on our own feelings, needs, and interpretations. And because of this, we often fail to see situations from another person's point of view. How to train perspective shifting. To expand your awareness, actively shift your focus from a self to others. For example, ask yourself, what might this person be feeling in this situation? How does this situation look from their perspective? During conversations, you can train yourself by thinking, does this person seem engaged in this conversation, or are they just being polite? Are they feeling comfortable or bored? Are they thinking, this guy talks too much, and it's getting annoying? By making a habit of shifting perspectives, you will improve your metacognitive skills, broaden your worldview, enhance your ability to read people's emotions and thoughts. This is one of the core skills behind empathy. The difference between those who do this and those who don't. We've all heard the advice. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. Some people do this naturally. Others never do it at all. If you want to develop true self-awareness and strong social intelligence, training yourself to shift perspectives is essential. Personal reflection, my own weakness in this area. I have spent years training how to observe myself objectively. However, my ability to shift perspectives and see things from others' viewpoints is still underdeveloped. So, this is an area I am actively working on improving. We all have different strengths and weaknesses in metacognition. The key is to identify which areas you need to work on and train them consciously. Next, let's explore more advanced metacognitive training techniques. Deep dive, advanced methods for training metacognition. As we've explored, metacognition is the ability to observe and regulate your own thoughts, emotions, and actions. From a neuroscientific perspective, automatic thoughts arise primarily from the reptilian brain, instinctual responses. The mammalian brain, habitual responses. Meanwhile, metacognition is controlled by the human brain, specifically the prefrontal cortex. This means that metacognition is the process of using the prefrontal cortex to monitor and regulate the automatic thoughts generated by the instinctual and habitual brain. As metacognitive ability improves, you naturally develop an inner observer that can recognize, "Oh, I'm feeling anxious right now because of an instinctive survival response. This thought is just a habitual reaction, not a rational one." Essentially, strengthening metacognition is equivalent to upgrading the processing power of your prefrontal cortex. The side effects of advanced metacognitive training. When you train yourself to constantly monitor your thoughts and emotions using your prefrontal cortex, this real-time observation mode can become habitual. For example, during conversations, your observation mode might automatically activate, while others are chatting freely without self-awareness. You may find yourself analyzing everything in real time. This can lead to a strange experience where you feel detached from the flow of conversation, because your mind is simultaneously observing your own thoughts and emotions, analyzing others' behaviors and emotions. In some cases, sensitive people can subconsciously sense that they are being observed. They might start fidgeting, cough nervously, display other unconscious tension responses. This may explain why successful YouTubers often appear to be casually speaking, but in reality, they are constantly using metacognition to track their audience's reactions, simultaneously monitoring their own speech, emotions, and delivery. They're subconsciously adjusting their tone, pacing, and content in real time based on audience perception. The good news? Metacognition can be significantly improved even in adulthood, and its effects are profound. The connection between metacognition and enlightenment experiences. In many spiritual and religious traditions, there exists the idea that everything is one. Oneness. If you push metacognition to the extreme, your ability to observe will expand beyond your personal identity, beyond your physical surroundings, beyond even your concept of self. At its highest level, metacognition could theoretically expand to a cosmic scale, allowing an individual to perceive the entirety of existence from a detached, omnipresent perspective. The one universal consciousness that pervades all things. At this level, one might experience the world from a God's eye view, observing all things simultaneously. It's possible that highly trained metacognition can lead to a non-dualistic state of awareness, a complete dissolution of the self, a profound realization that all existence is interconnected. From a psychological perspective, one could say that the experience of oneness is an extreme expansion of metacognitive awareness. However, there's a key difference. Spiritual traditions emphasize the felt experience of oneness. Psychological metacognition is more about cognitive observation and detachment. That said, the underlying mechanism may be closely related. Final thoughts. If you've read this far, thank you. I sincerely appreciate your time and curiosity. Metacognition is an extraordinary skill, one that can transform your self-awareness, radically improve your decision-making, even lead to profound spiritual insights. I hope this exploration of metacognition, self-improvement, and awareness has given you new perspectives to consider. Thank you again. I appreciate you.